Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So guess what, in today's video we'll be making a rhinestone t-shirt. So I'm gonna start out with the supplies. Alright, so the first thing we're gonna be working with will be these red SS10 Hotfix Rhinestones. Yes, I decided to go with the color red for this project. Alright, the next color we'll be using will be the crystal, well, it's a crystal clear Hotfix rhinestones, and these are also in the size SS10. So the yeah, I have two packs here. So the smaller pack I was like doubting if it will actually work, and that is the reason why I have that larger pack just as a backup. You know, we can never go wrong with having extras, right? Alright, the next item we'll be using is this small painter's brush. We use this for applying the rhinestones to the template. There's a larger size, but for this project I went with the smaller brush size. Now the next item will be our wax pencil. Yes guys, that is not a white pencil, it's a wax pencil that helps to pick up the rhinestones, because trust me, I'm gonna be picking up a few of these manually. Okay, now the template I'll be using for this project is a birthday month diva template. So it's part HTV, part rhinestone, and this template has two pieces to it, so that's what I'm showing you here. So the first piece has the word birthday with the heels, and then that second piece is the bottom of the heel. Okay, now to apply the rhinestones to the shirt, I will need to use the rhinestone tape. That's what I have here. Now for my work surface, this is not a large template, so I'm using this small, it's like a baking sheet. Yes guys, I picked this up at Walmart, so it helps with like putting back the rhinestones into the container, and I just found it easy to use. I can always, you know, clean it down and put it up. And most definitely I need to have this shirt, so I'll be using this white shirt for the project here. Alright, so let's get started. So right now I'm just separating the templates. I'm gonna start off with the main one. This uses most of the rhinestones, and for this piece I'm using the clear SS10 rhinestones. Alright, so I'm just applying this to the baking, to my work surface basically. And yes, so there I have the SS10 clear rhinestones. And with the SS10 is the size that I like to work with. You have smaller sizes and you have larger sizes, but this is like the most common size we work with. So I'm just pouring that out. And right, you see, like looking at the amount of rhinestones, I was like thinking, is this gonna work? But hey, at least I have a backup there. So let's get started with this. Oh, one thing I was noticing is that, okay, I probably need to get a silver work pan or work tray, because the black portion or the back of the rhinestone is black, and I'm like, it was hard to see those rhinestones. So I'm just using that brush to, you know, move the rhinestones in position in the template. So that's what I'll be doing here, and I'm just gonna speed this up just a little bit, because it's just me fixing the rhinestones in the template. So I'm just using circular motion to position the rhinestones in the template. And of course, there are times when I'll have one or two of those stubborn rhinestones that just don't want to go up on the template. So that's when I have to use the wax pencil and just position it manually. Right, so that's basically all I'm doing, and the circular motion just helps to sweep or position the rhinestones. At times they'll like be on the wrong side or the back onto the rhinestone, and then that's when I have to go in again with the wax pencil and turn them over so that we have that bling bling like showing on the template. So I'm just moving my way up now to the word to spell birthday. And at this point I'm realizing that, you know what, those rhinestones are going onto the template, which is a big no-no, a big no-no. Never ever want to have that happen. So it seems that when I had put down the template, I didn't apply enough pressure for the backing to stick to the surface. Right, so that's what I'm going over here with the back of the brush, just trying to ensure that the template is like firmly attached. But guess what, it wasn't. So once I like had to lift the template, like you can see the disaster happening right now. Right, look at that disaster. Like at this point I just had to do everything over. Because once you lift it up and you get those rhinestones out of place, that's it. Never ever ever let that happen to you. You're gonna have to start over. So that's what I did. But the good thing about doing this is that it is so therapeutic that I didn't mind doing it again. So so that's what I'm doing now. So I had to like take off all those rhinestones, clear off the template, and start all over. Alright, so that's what I'm doing. And once again, I'll just speed this up for you because it's the same process. Just gonna use circular motions, position the rhinestones in the template. So at this point, I'm just brushing the excess or the loose rhinestones off the template because I'm realizing that, you know what, because I didn't use a lot to begin with, like they're not filling the holes. So I'm gonna take the wax pencil and put these in manually. Yep, one by one I'm gonna place these onto the template, and while I'm positioning them or placing them, I'm also checking just to make sure that the ones that are not on the right side, I'm turning them over, and at the same time I'm ensuring that there's only one rhinestone per hole, because at times we will find that, you know what, like two rhinestones are close together, and we never ever want that because when we go to put them on the shirt, we're gonna have a big disaster. So I'm just going through and fixing up the template. Okay, so here is the finished first layer. So now I'm just using my fingers just to ensure that the rhinestones are properly placed and that I don't have any missing rhinestone. Right, so it's like the finishing of the first layer, a step that's very important. All right, so what I'll be doing now is getting the transfer tape. So this is the tape that I'll be using to transfer the rhinestone design onto the t-shirt. So the piece that I have here, it's longer than the actual template, and I do it like that for a reason. So to my left, where I have my hands on the work surface, I always want to have like an extra piece there, because I'm gonna anchor that on the work surface so I can like flip the transfer tape back, and you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, so I'm just gonna take off the tape itself from the backing and apply this over the rhinestones. And in doing this, like you have to, like I'm not gonna just put it down, because once the rhinestone like catches onto the tape, if they shift, it's another big disaster. Like working with the rhinestones, you have to be very, very, very careful, because you can just mess up the entire design by having one rhinestone out of place. All right, so here I have the transfer tape, so I'm gonna apply the left side first, and I'm fixing it to the work surface, because that is gonna be like my anchor. So you know, like you have a book and you flip the leaves, yeah, so that's what I'm doing here. And then I'm slowly going to press down the tape over the rhinestones, and as you can see, for the letter I, like they just, all the rhinestones just came out, but luckily I had everything in place, so I could continue to move over to the right side. And then what I'm gonna do is take the brush and just like press down on the transfer tape, and this will help to ensure that I'm picking up all the rhinestones. So I want to take up all the rhinestones at one time, so I'm just slowly pressing. I'm going to use the brush, and at times I use my finger just to ensure that all rhinestones are fixed to the tape. All right. Okay, so now that I'm satisfied with the pressure that I've applied, I am now taking the transfer tape off. So I'm just gonna be moving that over to the left side, and you will see why I place that extra transfer tape on the left side. So it's like opening a book. So I'm just gonna lay it over to the left, and by doing this, it will allow me to add the second layer, because yeah, I need to use the red rhinestones now. So this is why I said, okay, I needed to have that extra piece of transfer tape, because I wanted to have that piece on the left so that I could just rest the design to the side. So now I will be putting on the top layer, or the second layer, and this is just the bottom part of the heel, and this will be in the color red, as I said earlier, because the design is a part HTV design, which says March Birthday Diva. So the word March and Diva I have in a red glitter, right? Red glitter HTV, sorry. And I wanted to match the heel, or the bottom of the heel, with that text. So now I'm just making sure this time that I apply pressure to the four corners, because I don't want any rhinestone to get underneath the material. And then I will be putting on the red rhinestone. Right, so here I have the the HTV. So this is red glitter HTV. So it's March Diva, and I'm going to be matching that with the red SS10 rhinestones. And this process is the same. I'm just gonna lay these rhinestones over the template, and with the brush just use circular motion to affix the rhinestones in the template hole. So I'm just gonna speed this up just a little bit because it's the same thing that I did on the first layer. Okay, so now I have completed the second layer, and I've put the entire transfer sheet over the red portion of the rhinestone, and I'm just using the brush to adhere the red rhinestones to the rest of the template. So I give that a smooth rub-a-dub-dub. And once again, I'm using my fingers, and I'm also looking at the designs of the rhinestone to make sure that they're not out of place. Alright, so the next thing I'll be doing is I'll be taking off the transfer tape and putting it onto that backing that I was just showing you in the video. Okay, so now I am just going to pull back the transfer tape, and this is just to take out the red rhinestone, and as you can see there, I missed one, so I'm gonna have to go back and press harder just to ensure that all the rhinestones actually do stick onto the transfer tape. Alright, so I'm gonna continue doing that until I have everything removed, and then after doing this, I will be placing the entire design onto the backing of that transfer tape. So now in placing the design onto the backing, I did notice that a couple of the rhinestones had shifted. So I'm trying now to just make sure I can adjust them so that they can fit correctly in the design. So you're gonna see me using this tool. It's a weeding tool, and I'm just trying to shift this rhinestone, and I think there are a few more, but I'm just gonna speed it through because basically this is the end of this portion of the process. Next, I'm gonna just go ahead and move on to putting the design onto our t-shirt that's on my heat press. Alright guys, so we're at the heat press right now, and what I am doing, I'm just laying the shirt over the press, and just to ensure that I have the center, because if the alignment is like messed up and I press this design on the t-shirt, then that's a t-shirt that's messed up, because if it looks out of place or it's not correctly aligned, yeah, it's not gonna look good. So that's what I'm doing here, and before I apply the design, I have to do two things. First, I'm going to use the lint roller to remove any lint or any excess you know, fabric or dirt, anything that could be lingering on the surface of the shirt. So that's what I'm just doing here. I'm getting a new sheet on the lint roller, and I'm just gonna sweep it over the shirt. And you want to do this because if you do press your shirt, especially the white shirts, and there's any lint or any fabric or any dirt, any residue on it or anything like that, once you apply the heat, it's gonna actually stick onto the shirt, and you don't want to have that. So I'm just taking my time to sweep over the entire surface of the shirt where I'm gonna be pressing. And then I'm going to pre-press the t-shirt for like 4 seconds, and that is just to get any excess moisture out of the t-shirt. Now earlier I stated that this design is like part HTV, part rhinestone, but what happened was, yeah, I'm showing you guys there, this red glitter HTV that I had, it was cut like in this odd shape. I don't know what had happened earlier or some time ago, but I was like, listen, I need to use this red HTV, so let me try and figure something out. So what I did was I used my sublimation printer to print out that word diva, because it's my shirt really, so I don't mind doing that red sublimation and then have the red glitter over it. So that's what I'm just doing here. I'm just trying to align the text diva with the text for the HTV glitter, and it looks fine to me right there. So I was like, I'm satisfied, let me go ahead and just pre-press the shirt. So that said, it's for 4 seconds, just to quickly get that moisture, or get the moisture out of the shirt before you actually apply the rhinestones. You don't want to apply the rhinestones and then later on you realize that, oh, you know, because of the moisture, that the rhinestones actually don't stick to the shirt. So here is the shirt pre-pressed, and I'm going to now place the HTV design first onto the surface. So of course, to mark the placement, 3 fingers down, that's what I'm doing, and placing the design, of course, eyeballing it to make sure that it's centered. And I'm just doing this because the first thing I have to do is apply the sublimation piece, which is the word diva. So I just wanted the placement of the entire design, so I know exactly where to have the word diva. So that's what I'm trying to do or adjust right here. So I just speed through here, this section, so that you can see the entire process. And just to note, if I had the entire design, the red glitter HTV design complete, I wouldn't be using the sublimation piece. So that means I wouldn't be going through this extra process. But if I'm doing this design for a friend, for someone, I wouldn't have split it like this. But because I know it's my shirt, I'm doing it this way because I'm fine with that. Okay, so now that we have pressed the sublimation portion, or the sublimated portion, which is the word diva there, I'm just gonna go ahead and apply now the HTV design. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, I'm just going to make sure that it is properly aligned so that it will look more uniformed, or look uniformed. So that's what I'm doing here, and I just love this red HTV glitter vinyl. Like, I didn't know I would actually like the red. Like, I was hoping I could get the purple, but I saw the red and I'm like, let me just use this so, you know, I can share it with you guys. But I'm really liking how it looks there. So once I had that placed properly and I'm satisfied, then I'll go now and press this portion. And of course, I'm going to place my butcher paper over it. Like, you don't have to, but anytime I use my heat press, I'm always using the butcher paper just to, you know, prevent any
residue or any markings to be left onto my fabric or onto the heat press itself. Okay, so our design is ready. What I'm basically doing here is just like fanning the shirt, because this HTV is a warm peel. So I'm just fanning this so it can like cool down a little bit. And now I'm going to place the rhinestone design onto the t-shirt. So of course that backing, that white backing there, I'm just gonna take it off. And while I'm doing that, I'm also ensuring that the rhinestones are still intact, so that I don't have to press, and then it's after I'm pressing I realize that, oops, I made a mistake, a rhinestone was out of place. So I'm just looking at the rhinestones at the same time. So because the transfer tape is so sticky, I have to take my time with this and just make sure that I don't lose any of the rhinestones, because I don't want to go through this process of going back to the drawing board to use the rhinestones, because you saw what happened earlier. All right, so here I was just trying to put down the tape. I know that's not the placement, that's not where it's supposed to go, that's not where it's gonna go, but I just wanted to put the tape down, and I'm gently lifting it. I'm not pulling it on the shirt, because if I do pull, then that will cause the rhinestones to shift. And there, you know, look at that. On the heel, of course, there's a rhinestone that was out of place. And of course, I'm going to have to fix that before I press it. So it's always best whenever you are putting your rhinestones down, putting your rhinestone template down, or your design down, sorry, on your shirt, always go over your design to make sure that the rhinestones are in place. Because you see, once the heat is applied and the glue is activated, hey, you can't, it's gonna be hard to get it off, and it's gonna look so obvious when it is pressed. All right, so I'm using the wax pencil. I could use the weeding tool also, but I'm just using the wax pencil that was closest to me at the time to just go over the entire rhinestone design. Okay guys, so the design has been pressed, the rhinestone has been pressed, and I should have mentioned earlier that for the rhinestones I'm pressing at a temperature of 320 for 15 seconds. All right, so I'm just looking at the design, and then I'll just go ahead, take my time, and slowly lift the tape off the shirt. And now after I remove the transfer tape off the t-shirt, I'm gonna also give it a second press, just to ensure that yes, everything is well secure. So I'm just gonna put back the shirt there, press it for another 5 seconds, and there we have the complete design, or birth month diva rhinestone t-shirt. Alright guys, so here we have the final design, our birth month diva rhinestone t-shirt. Alright, so thank you for staying with me today. I really appreciate your support. Go ahead, give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. And when you subscribe, hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, it's a blessing to be a blessing.